tell you about the spilled coffee moment that changed how I lead forever. Have you ever had that moment so small but yet so powerful it changes how you lead forever? I mean, for me, it was simply spilled coffee. Something so simple, something messy, and something that revealed more about my leadership style than any book or podcast ever had. Today I'm sharing a story and the lesson behind it and how one moment of frustration, it can become a turning point in how I show up for my team or how you show up for your team. Before we jump in, I want to give a quick thank you to today's sponsor, Project to Payment. They are truly helping plumbing businesses and all different types of trades businesses simplify the invoicing and payment processing. And the goal here is that you spend less time chasing checks and more time focusing on what matters most, which is building your team that thrives. So if you're ready to streamline your back office, check out Project to Payment. The first topic I want to talk about here is the moment it happened. It was early morning, I was rushed out the door, coffee in hand, mind already racing through the day, my day's to-dos, and I went back inside and one of my kids came into the kitchen needing help, and in that moment of distraction, I spilled my coffee all over the floor, all over my plans, and I was frustrated. I snapped, not loud, not angry, but with that sharp tone we all regret the second it leaves our mouth. What hit me later wasn't the coffee, it was the realization that I was carrying the same rushed, reactive energy into my business, into my meetings, into my leadership. I was too focused on tasks and not focused enough on people. And that really brings me to the first major leadership shift that I had. And, I really made it after that moment. And, making that shift will help you too. And that really leads me to the next step here is pause before you react. Leadership isn't about having the right response, it's about having the right presence. After the coffee incident, I started building in small pauses during my day, a deep breath before answering a tough question, a moment of eye contact before giving direction. It's amazing how much changes when you lead with presence instead of pressure. Your team doesn't need a perfect leader. They need a calm, clear, consistent one, and that starts with you learning to pause, especially in those messiest moments that you have. Once I learned to pause, I discovered something even deeper, something that I hadn't noticed in my leadership before, and that was the emotional residue I was leaving behind every time I reacted, to a situation. The culture you create in crisis, every leader creates that culture, especially in the small, stressful moments. I realized that when I reacted sharply, even if I moved on quickly, my team didn't. They carried the tone, the tension, the hesitation, so I had to ask myself, what kind of culture do I create when things spill, break, or go wrong? Now I focus on being calm in the chaos, not by stuffing the frustration, but by leading with grace even when the coffee hits the floor. Your reaction in crisis tells your team if it's safe to fail. Think about that. And when your team feels safe to fail, they also feel empowered to grow. So today I just want to recap this quick, messy, and life-changing moment. The first thing I encourage y'all to do in these situations is pause before you react. Second, lead with presence, not pressure. And third, remember that even in those small moments, you are building your culture. Here's my challenge for you today. Pay attention to your next spilled coffee moment. It might not actually be coffee, but it might be a dropped ball, a scheduling mistake, a bad review. How you respond can either build trust or break it. And if this episode gave you something to think about, share it with another leader that you know that might just need this reminder that growth starts with the mess. And don't forget, like, subscribe, keep leading with intention. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, leadership isn't revealed in the spotlight, it's revealed in the spill. Let's make those moments count.